The movie begins with a man who is unable to sleep JB. As he gets up and goes to play golf, suddenly his memories shift and he is in a war where he calls someone out at a distance to watch out. The scene shifts to Del Rio, Texas in the 1950s. Joe, a Mexican-American teenager, usually hangs out with his friends. The group hurry to go to the country club. But Joe is missing from this scene as they go to get him. Joe is in a fight. The scene shifts again to JB as he gets ready to leave for the country club to play golf. There we see Joe. He works as a caddy at the Del Rio Country Club, a place where only wealthy white people are allowed to play golf. Joe spends his days carrying heavy golf bags under the hot sun, watching rich players enjoy the sport he loves. He's never allowed to touch the clubs himself, let alone play. This is his only way to earn, but because of how the rich treat him and his friends, he takes a leak on one of the cars. Someone sees him do it, but rather than rat him out, that man approves. After his shifts, Joe meets his three best friends, Luis, Mario, and Philip, at a dry, dusty patch of land they call the Dust Bowl. This empty lot is their makeshift golf course. They use broken clubs they found in the trash and pretend the rocks and cacti are obstacles on a real course. While they are playing, JB is on his way to the country club, and the swing causes the ball to hit the car window, breaking it and injuring JB. He is angry and tries to chase the kids, but they run away. JB notices a golf pole with a flag and understands what they are trying to do. As he arrives at the club, he is referred by Frank, someone he served in the 141st Regiment in the Marines. JB really wants to be in the club, but the problem is that he is a Mexican. Because of the discrimination, he is not allowed to become a member, he can only be a guest. Later, we see the group of friends in a school going about their day but not accepted as one of the Americans. JB, by chance, was about to join the school as well as a teacher, though the principal does give JB a heads up that he will likely not fit in, be careful. Then we see JB giving a welcoming speech to the students, but during the speech, he spots the boys and runs after them. The boys are now detained in a room and finally get to know that they also have an interest in golf from the principal. JB starts to take a personal interest in them. He goes to the Dust Bowl and sees them swing. Philip notices JB as he approaches them. He tells them that since they don't have money to pay for his window, he has a proposal, either to mow his lawn or to practice golf with him. At first, they joke around about it, but they come to an agreement. Everyone agrees to work with JB to have a chance to play in the States, but Joe declines, tells JB that he will come to mow his lawn and leaves. The group says that they need Joe. Joe's father, Miguel, works long hours at a factory and wants Joe to focus on a real job. He scolds Joe for wasting time on golf, saying it's a game for rich people, and puts his morale down further in golfing. Frank, with his wife, visits JB's house. As they are having dinner and going through the old memories, JB tells them that he is going to make a golf team in school and would like to have Frank as a potential coach for them. Outside, JB proposes that seeing Mexican kids golfing would be great for the future and diversity. On Saturday, as promised, Joe comes to mow the lawn as JB watches through the window. Lucy, JB's wife, gives him some lemonade to give to Joe, but he refuses, and Lucy notices that he cares about Joe as if he is a son without even knowing him. JB takes Frank to the Dust Bowl to meet the team without Joe. JB introduces Frank to the team, and he is really surprised to know that the boys had made the course themselves and worked on it. In the country club, Paulo notices Joe alone and encourages him to not be stuck in one place and to be better than where he stands right now. Because of his encouragement, Joe goes to the Dust Bowl. Frank notices Joe's confidence and is ready to train them. They start their training immediately, over the next few days. They work on their swings, but the place is not enough for them. Frank suggests that they sneak into the country club at time of night to practice more than where they stand. This circle goes on for weeks, and they don't stop practicing. Because of this, Lucy notices JB's mood improving. One night, Paulo notices their efforts, and when they thought he would rat them out again, Paulo tells them that he has been waiting for this moment to come for a while now. He takes the team to a place where the state's best golf equipment is, and because of that, they get more excited and passionate about golf. The time has come for the junior golf tournament in Kerrville, Texas. The others are not really happy to see that a team of Mexican kids are the ones they would be competing against. They are discriminated against because of their race, and everyone looks down on them, but they do not know how much they are trained. Named the Mustangs of San Felipe, the team was doing not bad at the tournament. The audience applauded their work and were surprised by their sportsmanship, even though they placed fourth in the tournament. Later that night, they go out to celebrate at a diner, but they keep on waiting for the waiter to come, but to no avail. Then a worker comes and tells them that they will not serve them as they are racist. Joe gets angry, breaks their window with a swing, and runs away. Frank is angry with him, but Joe pays no mind. JB gets frustrated with Joe's behavior and gives him a lesson about how to play by the rules, as the Americans wouldn't be so kind to them in their actions. The next day, the newspaper comes and it has the Mustang's photo on the front. Joe tears that apart and gives it to his father, saying that the dog ate it. At a get-together, Miguel tells the kids to get chairs for him, but they go after Daniela. They try to impress Daniela, but this time Joe, the usual show-off, is rather quiet about it. His father returns and another man comes congratulating Miguel that he has a son with potential. Miguel learns about his golf, but is furious. Daniela saves Joe by lying and they both walk away. Sitting on top of empty mills, Joe expresses his love for her and they get along. Daniela shares about herself with him and her possibilities to get further education in the future. At night, Joe hears something from outside and goes to check it out. His father is burning his clubs and they both get into a fight. Joe saves the clubs, but his father is mad at him. The next day, JB, along with his wife, goes to the club for the couple's golfing event. They are heavily discriminated, but they try to play it off. Frank comes along and in a polite manner, defends them. They make a bet that if either of the teams wins, they take each other's golf clubs. JB's clubs are of his grandfather, so he had a sentimental value to them. They divide into teams of 2 and are winning, but Frank requests that they are doing too well and need to lose because the other team is their boss as well. Because of that, they lose. Frank tries to negotiate with the opposing team to let JB's clubs go because of their sentimental value, but JB himself turns them in, showing a great gentleman gesture. Over the next months, the relationship between the team, JB, and his family, along with Frank, increases a lot. They celebrate events together and get as close as a family to one another. During this, the relationship between Daniela and Joe develops further as well. Not only that, but they take on upcoming tournaments with utmost courage as well, winning multiple events. This helps them make a name for themselves. Time comes for the region's golf tournament in McAllen, Texas. Things are going well for them, but Joe's opponent, Cox's son, messes up Joe's line on purpose. Joe gets angry and gets into a fight, but gets disqualified for it. When they look at the scorecard, Gene's score is so good that because of his card, they can make it to states if they do get proper scoring in the upcoming event. Later that night, Frank tells JB to not worry about Joe and let it go, but JB, having faced the discrimination, worries for him and needs him to play by the rules. The boys, wanting to celebrate, cross the borders and go to a bar, get some tequila, but the locals understand that they are Mexican Americans and start to mock them. One steals Gene's cap and this infuriates Joe. As they go out, Joe goes back in and forcefully takes the cap back, making a run for it. They cross the borders the same night. The next day, Joe takes Daniela to his new place as a surprise, but Daniela breaks the news to him that she will be moving to Austin as she got accepted into a writing program, leaving him heartbroken. Though she intended to tell him after the tournament, this had been a shock to Joe. The time has come for the Del Rio Division I state tournament, and they need only a little more score to win. They all do their best and are really close to winning. Joe only needed one more swing, but fate had something else planned. Cox, not intending to win, finds the owner of the diner that Joe broke the window off and the police arrest him. In the office, the chairman gives the offer to let Joe go if only the Mustangs get dissolved completely. JB is not happy with this deal and turns himself in rather than let Joe be taken down. Because of this, the tournament has been postponed. Luckily, JB is bailed from the jail since the principal of the school is related to the police. He goes back to the country club the next day as Polo gives JB his place and the keeper. Hidden from eyes, JB makes his way in and sees Joe take the win. The team celebrates as they have won. However, because of the racism of that time, no one of the authorities wanted to celebrate it in the country club. However, as they are making their way home, the entire town is waiting for their return, congratulating them and celebrating their win. An entire parade on standby in respect for their win. One day, JB receives a call from Joe, telling him that Joe has moved to Austin with Daniela and says his goodbyes. With this, the movie comes to a close. Subscribe for see future movie recaps.